Carly from Carly Crafts, and today I'm going to show you how to do decorative blocks. Now if you have a handy husband, he could cut square inch blocks for you, but I bought these and they're 3 by 3 inch blocks, and we're going to put some words on them and make them interchangeable. So it's going to be a really fun project that you can actually use for Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving, and any time of the year. So we'll go ahead and get started. The first thing that we need to do in our project is decide how many blocks we need or what we're going to say. And I've already kind of decided that I want to say welcome to have for any time of the year, spooky for Halloween, thankful for Thanksgiving, and believe for Christmas. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make myself a little diagram just because it makes it easier to keep in track. Now thankful is 8 letters long, and that's our longest word, so I need 8 blocks, which I'm going to put thankful in. Okay, and then I'm going to center the rest of them. So I need to draw 8 more blocks. Okay, so now I have 8 blocks out, so I can plan where each of these words are going to go. Now I could line them all up and have welcome, and then the extra go like this, because welcome is 7 letters, and then I can do something cute on that block. But spooky is only 6, so I'm going to center it. And then I'll do something cute, Halloween-ish, on the other 2. And then believe is 7, so I'm going to probably do the same thing I did with the welcome. And then just do something cute in this block. So then that way I know as I'm putting my blocks together what I need and where. So I'll get my 8 blocks out, and I'm going to get all of my paper cut and into 3 by 3 squares because I'm going to use a 3 by 3 block. So here's my 3 by 3 block. And I'm going to use 8 of these, and then I'll get my paper cut, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so here's the 4 patterns that I've chose to do. This one's going to be for my welcome, this one's going to be for my spooky, this one's going to be for my thankful, and this one's going to be for my believe. So our next step is to take these 3 by 3 squares, and we're going to Mod Podge them onto my wood. Now if you wanted to, you could paint your wood and then just cut your letters out and put them on your paint and Mod Podge them or attach them however you wanted to on your paint. So we'll just get the Mod Podge. So I'm just going to take my 3 by 3 paper and I'm going to Mod Podge it. So I'm going to put a layer down on my block really quick. Okay, and then I'm going to clean up my edges just a little bit. Alright. Then I'll just go ahead and lay it on there. And I'm going to let it dry a little bit, and then I'll come do a layer on the top. And then I'll just finish the other sides with the other paper. We'll let it dry, and then I'll come back and I'll show you our next step. Okay, I've got my block, and I've just done the first layer of Mod Podge on my wood and then put my paper on. And before I do my second layer, I'm going to actually file the edges of my paper just to make them even and smooth before I do my second layer. Okay, I've gone ahead and filed down my edge, the edges of my paper that kind of stuck up above the edge of my block. And our next step is just to Mod Podge on top of that. So we'll just take some more and just go on top of that and let it dry. And I'm only going to do a side at a time so that it'll not make a mess. But we'll get the other sides done, and then we'll go ahead and put the letters on.
Okay, so I have each of my paper on the sides of the block. There we go. And I've Mod Podged one layer over each of these. And so now, and I went ahead and just Mod Podged the ends of mine, which that one's still drying. So we're going to go ahead and while these are all drying, I'm going to cut the letters for the blocks. Okay, so I'm just going to use black to cut all of my letters. And I'm using the Hello Kitty font. And I'm just going to load my paper. And I'm going to cut them each at 2 inches. So I'm actually going to cut them all in uppercase. And I'm going to do welcome. Cut that, and then we'll work on the next one. Okay, so it cut out welcome, and now we're going to do spooky. So I'm still on my shift lock, and I'm just going to do spooky. And I could probably go ahead and put the rest of them in too. So we'll do thankful, F-U-L. And then our last one is believe, B-E-L. Oh, see, so I can't do all of belief. And so I'm actually just, I'll let it cut spooky and thankful. And then I'll go back in and I'll do believe. Now I'm ready to put my letters. And I've cut out the letters. We just cut out the letters and I just did them at 2 inches. Okay, there's my welcome set out. For the letters, we're just going to put another layer of the Mod Podge. On our block. And I'm going to make sure it's a good layer. And then I'm going to just put my letter down. And I'll do that for each of my letters, and then I'll go ahead and do a coat over it once they've dried to this bottom coat. Okay, so my first layer has dried, and my E is attached, or my letter, because it'll change depending on what you do. But so my letter is attached. I'm going to do my second coat, and I'm just going to kind of actually put a bunch around my letter, and then I'm going to go ahead and smooth it out. And I want to do it in both directions so I don't get this big pile up around the edge of my letter. Alright, and then I'll let that dry, and then I'll move on to the next side. It's kind of easier to do the whole one side, let it dry, and then do the next side. And so I'll just go ahead and get that finished up. Okay, now these are all dry, and I have an exclamation mark that I added behind my welcome to fill in that other block. But now that we're going to the other letters, we're going to switch sides and we're going to do our Halloween side, and it's shorter and it's spooky. This is where this little chart that I made comes in handy. So here's my W. And I'm going to flip that over, and that's actually a blank one, but what I decided to do is that I'm going to do a little spider. So I've already put Mod Podge on it, and I can just stick that on. I'll let it dry, and then I'll give another coat. And then I know with my E for my welcome, it needs to be my S. So I'll just kind of follow that just so I can make sure that my letters are going to line up appropriately so I can just flip the blocks around.